Um, All right, welcome everyone. I call this meeting to order at 7:34 p.m. Will Senator Rudolph, since you're the only one with your camera on, please start us with the pledge.
Sure. So I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us in a moment of silence in remembrance of the lives lost in the shooting in Colorado. It's unfortunate that we have to do this every single week. Thank you. All right, I will read the land acknowledgement, in which the student government of Florida State University acknowledges that it is located on land that is the ancestral and traditional territory of the Appalachian Nation, the Miccosukee Tribe of Florida, the Muskogee Creek Nation, and the Seminole Tribe of Florida. We pay respect to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to their descendants and to all Indigenous people. We recognize this land remains scarred by the histories and ongoing legacies of settler colonial violence, dispossession, and removal. In spite of all this, and with tremendous resilience, these Indigenous nations have remained deeply connected to this territory, to their families, to their communities, and to their cultural ways of life. We recognize the ongoing relationships of care that these Indigenous nations maintain with this land and extend our gratitude as we live and work as humble and respectful guests upon their territory. We encourage all to learn about and educate others on the contemporary work of the Indigenous nations whose land we are on, and to endeavor to support Indigenous sovereignty in all the ways that we can. Now will the pro tempore please administer the roll call?
All right, when I call your names, please raise your hands. Senators Murcia, Flashman, and Tackett. Senators Roy, Villacorta, and Marcus. Senators Bateman, Hunter, and Little. Senators Bergen, Rudolph, and Grunberger. Senators Rossi, Shaler, and Prescia. Senators Randall, Stoltz, and Arrett. Senators England, Nasworthy, and Molina. Senators Lassard, Duperrier, and Rodriguez. Senators Linsky, Rigadel, and Fineout. Senators Soto, Lewis, and Ramos. Senators A. Gonzalez, Martin, and Gabadaj. Senators Reed, Moore, and Suarez. Senators Nemeth, Russell, and Jay Hitchcock. Senators Melion, Murray, and West. Senators Thorpe, Kay Hitchcock, and Kubas. Senators Darrell Deek, Tooks, and Boole. Senators Kalink, Stinson, and R. Gonzalez. All right, President Harmon, we do have quorum.
Thank you, Pro Tempore Wang. Quorum is verified. Corrections and approval of the journal. Is there a motion to approve the journal from March 17th, 2021? Chair Rudolph.
So moved.
Is there a second? Senator Soto?
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the journal from March 17th is approved. Student and non-budgeted RSO comments. Are there any students or non-budgeted RSOs that are wishing to speak tonight? Just raise your virtual hand and I can unmute you. All right, none. Special introductions and announcements. None. Messages from the executive branch. None. Messages from agency and bureau directors, SGA organizations, officers, and employees. None. Messages from the executive cabinet. None. Messages from the class councils. None. Messages from the Congress of Graduate Students. None. Messages from the judicial branch. None. Messages from the union board and student engagement ambassadors. All right, Chair Randall.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is just a reminder for the Senate. There are 2 trainings coming up in the next couple of weeks. March 31st at 4 p.m. Student organizations involvement will be hosting with student engagement ambassadors training on growth and retention for RSOs. And on April 14th at 4 p.m., SOI and student engagement ambassadors will be hosting a training on RSO recognition at 4 p.m. I'll be posting the link again in the chat. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair Randall. Are there any other messages from the union board and student engagement ambassadors? All right. Messages from the campus recreation board? None. Report of the SGA accounting office. Remaining balances. The remaining balance of Senate projects is $15,737.20. Remaining balance of PAC is $23,667. RTAC has a remaining balance of $50,015, and the organizational fund has a remaining balance of $1,000. Report of Senate liaisons. Are there any liaisons wishing to make a report at this time? Of which you are required to do monthly, by the way. All right, Chair Martin.
Hello, everybody. Some announcements from Peace Jam. So Thursday, we have our Peace Hour talking about environmental racism and its effect on community members from 5 to 6 p.m. And then we have weekly Saturday sessions. So this Saturday session is talking about combating mental health during periods of isolation. The description is combating feelings of isolation and promoting mental health is more important than ever. Peace Jam, Southeast Jammers, Brooke, Gabrielle, Alejandra, and Ella from Trinity Preparatory Schools Peace Jam Club will be sharing how they promoted and uplifted their community to combat feelings of isolation during a pandemic by bringing attention to the issue of mental health and wellness. And then we will be having our annual conference, which will be happening virtually, where a Nobel Peace Laureate, Lema Bowie, will be attending, and it's open to anybody to attend, and it's free to attend actually this year as well, which is usually not the case. So if any of y'all are interested, let me know, because it's a really great opportunity. And other than that, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Martin. Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The Veteran Student Union is having a sand volleyball social on March 30th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's going to be at the sand volleyball courts that are located next to the Mike Long track. So if you guys want to come and interact with the Veterans Student Union, please come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gonzalez. Chair Randall.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a few updates from JSU. They had a great event with Women's Student Union on March 18th about powerful Jewish women. Had some good conversations in there. Tonight, they are actually just finishing up their movie night event. There's also, they also held this week a board interest meeting for people that are interested on serving the next JSU board. If you know people that are interested, that are, members of the student body that are allies or members of the Jewish community, the application is on their Instagram, and I believe they have a Facebook. It's probably there too. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chair Randall. Senator Marcus.
Yes, so AASU has quite a lot of events going on as it is still Heritage Month. Some of the events are new in light of the absolutely horrific attacks that have been increased on their community. So earlier today they had, it's just finishing up now, they had a healing and listening session from the University Counseling Center. Tomorrow evening they're having an Asian American Alumni Network Throwback Thursday event, as well as an evolution of AAPIA identity. And then they're having a virtual vigil and town hall on Friday at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday at 5 p.m. at the historic Florida State Capitol, there is a Stop Asian Hate vigil, and I would love to see some of y'all at that.
Thank you, Senator Marcus. Vice Chair Soto.
Hi. So Pride Student Union had an event today with Hillel. And yeah, that's pretty much it from this one. I just wanted to mention about applications. Executive director and assistant director applications are due tonight. Now all the other applications for the other positions are due on the 31st. If you have any questions or are interested, let me know, as I currently serve on their e-board. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Vice Chair Soto. Are there any other liaisons wishing to make a report? All right, seeing none. Report of the committees, internal affairs.
Hey everyone, we met Monday 6:30 p.m. We heard one candidate, Chloe Connor, for Senate Clerk. She passed the committee. She has the full confidence of the committee. And next week we will be hearing 3 homecoming related candidates, one for overall director, one for overall assistant director, and one for homecoming live director. So yep, that's it from us this week.
Thank you, Chair England. Slaw.
Thank you. SLAW met at 8 p.m. yesterday. We passed Bill 27 unanimously, and then Resolution 30. Well, no, not Bill 27 unanimously. We passed Bill 27 and Resolution 30 passed unanimously. Resolution 17 and 18 are still tabled. And yeah, it was a short meeting, but very intentional and fun. So that's it from SLAW.
Thank you, Chair Martin. Finance.
Yes, hello everyone. Finance met Tuesday at 5:30. We had a pretty quick week. All we had was PAC resolution number 14, which we will hear later tonight. And yeah, that was about it for finance.
Thank you, Chair Rudolph. Judiciary.
Yes, the Judiciary Committee met on Monday at 8 p.m. We tabled Bill 3 and we passed Bills 24, 25, and 26.
Thank you, Chair Little. Budget. Chair Stinson.
Good evening, Senate. I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. On Monday, budget met. We passed Bill 23, which was Senator Marcus's, and then we passed Bill 27, which was Senator Tackett's, and then Senator Darrell Deek, his Bill 21 is still tabled, and that's everything we did.
Thank you, Chair Stinson. Rules and calendar.
Hey, Senate. So rules and calendar met at 5 p.m. just before Senate. Resolution 4 remains tabled. We did pass Resolution 29 and we tabled Resolution 31, awaiting the sponsor to find time to come to rules.
Thank you, Pro Tempore Wang. RIJ.
So racial inclusivity and justice met a week ago, and we're working this week to meet Friday at 5, and we're doing amendments to the RMARC contract during this meeting. So we would love if anyone who's interested at all in helping make those amendments would come to our meeting, and we hope to see more senators there. That's all for me.
Thank you, Chair Hunter. SA Squared. Chair Soto.
Hey y'all, SA Squared met last Sunday. We just went over the meeting minutes from our other meeting that we scheduled with Allison Lee Chews, Dr. Castillo, and Dr. Williams. It was a very great meeting, and then we also talked about like some stuff that we plan to do in terms of the specific article that came out. So yeah, we are going to meet on April 4th at 7:30. We encourage y'all to be there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you, Chair Soto. And the rules ad hoc has not met, so I won't ask for a report this week, but as soon as they meet, they will get a report. Senate confirmations. Today we just have Chloe Connor for Senate Clerk. Chloe, if you're here, just raise your hand. We'll unmute you. You'll have 5 minutes for your opening. Whatever you don't use for your opening is reserved for your closing. Chair Little has a point.
Yes, Mr. President, point of order. I believe we're out of order to hear this candidate now, as when she was forwarded, the meeting was not open to the public, and any decisions cannot be considered binding.
All right. Chair England, what happened?
Yeah, so our good friend, Mr. Ben Young, happened, unfortunately. I see some senators with their heads in their hands. So what happened was Ben Young was out of the office on Friday, and he was unable to put the website, the IA link on the website. So we reached out to Miss Gina Miller in DSA marketing, and she was able to put the link on the website for us. So all was fantabulous until Monday, until I hear that the link was no longer on the website. And so what had happened was Mr. Ben Young had removed it from the website for some reason. Because when he got into the office on Monday, saw my email asking to update the link on the website, I guess he didn't check the date that was already on the website versus like the date of the meeting schedule. I don't know what happened, but long story short, it was removed. However, you know, I have checked statutes. I worked with parliamentarian Rowan, who messaged me earlier about this. I already checked statutes, and statutorily, it was posted 24 hours in advance. It was open to the public. And so statutorily, you know, we're fine. And to say it wasn't open to the public is speculative. I myself have heard nothing. I haven't got any emails. I haven't got any concerns. So yeah, statutorily, all is good.
All right. Unfortunately, it wasn't available for the people that wanted to join at the time. So is there a motion to go into committee as a whole? Chair Little.
So moved.
Is there a second? Senator Gonzalez.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Senator England, are you objecting? Or Senator Gonzalez, you're objecting? All right. All right, we are now in committee as a whole. I relinquish the chair to Chair England.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So yeah, we need a Senate clerk. So I guess we're going to do this now. Very exciting. Okay, very good. Well, Chloe, you went through this last night, so you had a dry run, so you know exactly what you're up for. This time, it's just the whole Senate will be voting on you instead of just the members of the committee. So my understanding is because we're in committee of the whole, we will go by the IA rules of procedure, which means that you have 3 minutes for an opening, not the aforementioned 5 that the Senate president mentioned. So whenever you are ready, you will have 3 minutes for your opening and may begin whenever you are ready. Can someone unmute her? I can't do that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good evening, Senate. Thank you so much for your time and for this wonderful opportunity. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Chloe Connor. I'm a junior majoring in economics. I'm in Tallahassee from Jacksonville, and I'm looking to be confirmed for Senate clerk. Like a lot of people, I became interested in Senate over the summer, but unlike a lot of people, I never stopped watching. I've been on these calls almost every Wednesday, and if I miss a week, I always go back and watch the recording. It's something I've made a habit of ever since the summer, and I really respect the work and advocacy and activism that y'all do. It's so exciting and interesting to me, and I really look forward to hopefully being a part of it. I've served in many leadership positions here at FSU and also in high school. I've been taking minutes for at least one organization every year since my freshman year of high school, so I have lots of experience taking minutes. I've also been told that I will be in charge of managing a Canvas page, and I'm so excited to do that. I did that with IRHC when I served as the Assistant Director of Operations, among many other tasks that I had on IRHC. But it was super easy for me, so I don't anticipate any challenges there. Like I said, again, I've been taking minutes for a while, and I'm always very sure to take them meticulously. I've been told that my minutes are sometimes over detailed, actually, and I always distribute them as they should be distributed, as instructed, and I make sure to communicate if I'm not able to make them out on time. So yeah, I look forward to any questions that you guys have for me. Sorry, y'all have for me, and I yield.
Thank you very much. The candidate yields with 1 minute and 11 seconds to their closing, should they choose to have one. We will now entertain any technical or non-debatable questions. And while folks have a think about that, it has come to my attention people don't know what Committee of the Whole is. So basically, we are in internal affairs right now. That is why I am presiding, because it is as if we are in a committee meeting. So that is what Committee of the Whole means. But Senator, I don't have unmute powers, so President Harmon, you're gonna have to do this, but let's go with Senator Gonzalez.
I'm just going to change the rules for now to allow people to unmute. It's just easier.
Okay. Senator Gonzalez, go ahead.
Yes, may I reserve 2 follow-ups, Mr. Chair?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Candidate Connor, did you run in spring elections?
Yes, I did.
And you did not win, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Did in your position in taking minutes for IRHC, were you aware of the Sunshine Law statute?
No, I don't know what the Sunshine Law statute is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gonzalez. Senator Marcus, go ahead.
Question for the chair. Do you know if everyone that applied to this position received an interview?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay.
Again, I'm not responsible for interviewing candidates before they get forwarded to committee.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, I have had no information or any communication to suggest otherwise. So to my best knowledge, yes, everyone who was interviewed, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, the president is saying there were 2 applicants, both were interviewed.
Okay, good to know.
All right, are there any other technical or non-debatable questions at all? Senator Randall, Chair Randall, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair England. Candidate Connor, did you have you attended any university or SGA sponsored trainings? This can include things like Green Dot, MORE, or Allies and Safe Zones.
So I have attended both Allies and Safe Zones and Green Dot training, and I love Green Dot training so much that I've actually been through it twice now.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Senator Gonzalez, go ahead.
Candidate Connor, are you a dues paying member of the movement?
I did pay my dues as required when I ran for my candidacy, but since since elections have been over, I haven't kept up with the party at all. I'm still in the chat, but I'm muted in it, and I don't really continue to interact with them, and I don't plan to pay dues in the future.
Thank you very much. Any other technical, non-debatable questions? I think this is the first technical these are the first technical non-debatable questions we've ever had in IA. So, Senator Tackett, go ahead.
Hello, Ms. Connor. I was just wondering, will you commit to bipartisanship and working with senators across the aisle from both parties?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Senator Tackett. Any other senators wishing to ask a technical or non-debatable question? Senator Randall, Chair Randall.
Thank you, Chair England. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Ms. Connor, could you just explain what you think the clerk does, based on your understanding of reading the position description?
Yeah, of course. So the clerk will take minutes in the big, in the main Senate meetings. I don't think clerk takes minutes in committee meetings. Clerk also distributes legislation to committees, make sure that legislation gets to all the right places that it needs to be. And I've also been told by President Harmon that I will also be running the Senate Canvas page.
Which does not yet exist, if anybody is confused. Yeah, I see some senators like, what? We have a Canvas page? Yeah. All right, any other technical or non-debatable questions? All right, seeing none, we will now move into, in IA, we just have one round of questioning. So questions on character, position, all that kind of stuff. We are now in the general round of questioning. Is there anybody wishing to ask the candidate a question? Yes, Senator Gonzalez, go ahead.
Can you kind of unpack your character for me and describe how that plays into conflict resolution?
Yes, thank you. That's a wonderful question. So I say that my character is very empathetic. I really love working with other people. So I think that in my conflict resolution, that translates to maybe more like accommodation and like really wanting to work with people and make sure that their needs feel met. That's honestly like something that I talk a lot about as like a weakness of mine, because I often put people before myself in conflict resolution. I would also say that another like character pillar of mine is respect. I consider myself an ally for all communities. I really work hard to make sure that I am informed on marginalized communities and communities that don't receive the same like attention as mine, because I come from like privileged communities. So I would say that that is something that I work towards in, conflict resolution, making sure that people feel heard.
Thank you very much to both of you. Senator Gonzalez, do you have any other questions?
Yes, I'm just one. I know I like that answer, and I know you described kind of understanding and advocating for marginalized communities. So can you kind of describe how you've practiced that?
Yeah. So I would say that I am an active listener. I think that's the biggest way. I make sure that people are listened. I know that this is probably sounding a little bit like the answer I gave before, but to give more of a specific example, I have dealt with conflict, for example, in IRHC, and I served as like in my position in IRHC, I had to take minutes. So I was always reclarifying things. And in conflict, I was always making sure that their side of the story was represented in my minutes. And I was reclarifying that and making sure that that was actively listened to and reflected.
Thank you to the both of you. Senator Soto, you are recognized.
Hi, candidate Connor. I have a question for you. So besides your basic roles, if confirmed as clerk, what are some ideas or anything that you want to implement during your time?
So I am going to be very honest on this. I don't really know what the clerk has the power to implement. I have not worked with previous clerks, so I don't know how this position typically runs. But I definitely want to make any changes that are, felt necessary by the Senate and by Senate leadership.
Thank you very much. Senator Hunter, you are recognized.
Yeah, so I have a question regarding character. My question is, Canvas is a media site, not necessarily like a social media, but it is media. So I'm wondering how you've exercised your empathy and character in media accounts that you have run or do run in the past.
So I can't really think of an example of that. I mean, I run, my personal social media accounts, and I don't think that empathy really plays into that very much. I've also run like the IRHC Instagram and the class council's Instagram I'm also on. And the only examples I can think of, like, as far as my empathy and respect on that, is that I like to repost other, organizations posts like on the story, especially on class councils, which I'm on now, like for Women's History Month. I've been reposting like the Women's Student Union posts on the socials, but that's really the only example I can think that would apply to that.
Thank you. Senator Gonzalez, I do see you, but I'm going to let Senator Linsky go first because we haven't heard from him this evening. So Senator Linsky, go ahead.
To clarify, you have a lot of experience running social media accounts. Nobody else has asked you to run a social media account related to student government?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Senator Gonzalez, go ahead. 1 second. Senator Randall, Chair Randall, you have a point.
This is a point of information for the chair. Does the clerk oversee any sort of social media?
No.
Or is that the responsibility of the press secretary?
Press Secretary Mendez. Yeah, the clerk historically might have had access to social media accounts, but with the introduction of the press secretary role, no, Ms. Connor, if confirmed, would not have access to Senate social media.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Senator Gonzalez, go ahead.
Yes, just a quick point of information. Senator Hunter was talking about the Canvas page. She wasn't necessarily referring to the social media page. But with that said, Candidate Connor, I know Senator Tackett kind of touched on this before, but I'd like if you could expand a little bit about how obviously the Senate clerkship has to be bipartisan because you're working with all senators. So how would you practice bipartisanship in your role? And how have you practiced it historically now that you say you are kind of unaffiliating yourself with the political party you ran on?
Yes, absolutely. So as far as unaffiliating myself with the party that I ran with, I truly have not really even interacted with the chat. I mean, of course, I have made friends through the movement and, through campaigning, and those friends will be, in Senate. Some of them were elected. So I think this question is really important. I will not show bias towards anyone in the Senate. I take that really seriously. And bias is something that I worked with IRHC. IRHC, the halls are put on a sort of competition. It's a very friendly competition, but they are, they do serve some competitive aspects. And I had to be very non-biased in the way that I ran a point system to, have that, competition be had, basically. I created that point system and I made it equitable to the halls. And I ran, I was the one basically keeping track of all of the points, creating all of their assessments and everything. So I have worked in situations where I had to stay non-biased, and I plan to continue to uphold those same values for the Student Senate and treat everyone the same. I don't plan on really getting involved in the politics of what y'all do here, as far as, debating on bills and things like that. I'm the clerk, so I'm gonna, be a bit removed from that in a way. So I don't anticipate that will be any issue.
Thank you very much. Just a public service announcement. I put the candidate's application in the chat. I know folks have been wanting that. So thank you, Senator Soto, for the positive reinforcement there. Senator Soto, go ahead.
I was actually going to ask a question about the application. So I'm noticing that, no, let me just get to the point. So I'm looking at the what inspires you question, and it's kind of pretty vague. So could you please explain like what inspires you and like how that is influenced by your values?
Okay. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what I put on the application as far as what inspires me, but I am very inspired by activism and advocacy. I am a member of the LGBT community, and I When I was in high school, I was a part of an organization in Jacksonville called Jasmine that very strongly advocates for LGBT youth. And that's an organization that I have stayed involved in even since coming to college, even, remotely, as it's back in Jacksonville. And that is something that I'm really passionate about. And the people there continue to inspire me. They do a lot of great things. They provide housing for people who have been, kicked out of their homes due to being LGBT and things of that nature. And that what comes to mind is what's really inspiring to me, because I've been working with that lately.
Chair Randall, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chair England. Understanding that your job primarily will consist of 3 parts: passing documents around to those who need it, taking minutes during Senate meetings, and sort of manning the Senate canvas page when it becomes a thing. One of the pieces of legislation that I'm putting forward next week talks about ensuring that minutes include summaries of reasoning regarding why certain decisions are made. If you could talk about sort of how you'll take minutes and sort of the way you'll go about it in terms of like making sure that what is written down is accurate, especially in the case that some of these minutes may be used in potential, whether it be legislative proceedings or potentially even judicial proceedings.
Yes, that's awesome. I really look forward to seeing that bill. Transparency in minutes is something that I've been working on in a lot of the organizations that I've been working on. I'm working in, so I take very detailed minutes. I could even pull up minutes from IRHC. They're closer to transcripts. I will be working with the Senate leadership to determine what the expectations are for minutes. And Chair Randall, I hope that you will work with me with that too, because minutes is something that I take very seriously. I will probably look back at the recordings frequently while we still have recordings to make sure that the minutes are as accurate as possible. There were times in very important IRHC meetings, such as elections and things of that nature, where I asked permission from the room to record so that I could get as much information down as possible. Obviously, I would never do that without everyone's permission in the room, but I take very diligent minutes and I look forward to showing everyone here my work.
Senator Gonzalez, you are recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So there's this idea, or more like, I'm pretty sure there's been research studies done about how the 5 closest people to you reflect very, very highly on your character and who you are. So can you talk about kind of what that circle entails for you and how that has shaped your character coming into this role?
Yes, I love that question. So my best friend, she went to Florida State. I don't know if any of y'all know her. Her name's Kaylee Fox. She is very, very motivated. She works so hard. She is in graduate school. She just got promoted at her job. She maintains great relationships with all of her friends and with her boyfriend and with her parents and everything. And she's someone that I really look up to. She's someone that I hold very near and dear to my heart. And those are all qualities that I would hope that I take on and that I live up to her. She's incredible.
Thank you. Chloe, I think I think your microphone, you got quieter in that.
Oh, did I?
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. You're back. I just saw some senators looking confused. Did everybody hear the response to Senator Gonzalez's question? Just nod a heads. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Senator Soto, you are recognized.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if you had any other experiences besides the IRHC that would pertain to this role.
Yes, so I would say that IRHC is the most applicable. That's probably the most high stress environment that I've been in, and it's where I managed Canvas and minutes, so it's what I always bring up. But I do currently serve as junior class council secretary as well, in which I also take minutes and serve on a board. I do also serve as a student conduct board member currently, and I will be a curriculum chair next year. That doesn't really directly apply to Student Senate, but it is something else that I'm involved in and very passionate about.
Thank you very much. Senator Gonzalez, go ahead.
Chair, this question might be out of order, and if it is, please check me on it. But have you ever made any kind of disrespectful comment on someone's character that is a sitting senator right now?
Let's keep that to yes or no. I think that's a nice happy medium.
No.
Okay. President Harmon, I understand you have a question.
May I reserve 2 follow-ups, please?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, these will be quick and easy questions. Candidate Connor, do you know how to write minutes?
Yes.
All right. Are you organized?
Yes, very.
All right. And will you be dedicated to this role if confirmed?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. That is all my follow-ups.
Fantastic, short and sweet, just how we like it. Yes, Chair Randall.
Mr. Chair, I move to call the question.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned. So how it works, I guess, in IA is there's no formal motion. Just when we're out of questions, we'll move.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're okay. I should have explained how we do it, but yeah. So I guess if Chair Randall doesn't have a question, I will once again call for any final questions for the candidate. Going once, going twice. All right. Oh, Senator Soto, sold. Go ahead.
So sorry. I have another question for you, candidate Connor. So I saw in your application that you mentioned that your core value is perseverance. I'm wondering how you would implicate that into your role if selected.
Yes. So perseverance is definitely something that's very important to me. And perseverance in this role would mean being dedicated to showing up every night and not giving up when the minutes get long, when there's a lot of student comment, when things get tough. I know that the Senate has seen a lot, and I am prepared to see a lot more with y'all. And perseverance to me would mean continuing, and pushing through with, everything that y'all see.
Thank you. Senator Hunter.
Yes, so I just have another question about Canvas as a media platform. So again, not social media as a platform. So as Canvas is a media platform, a lot of similar situations on social media can arise on Canvas, such as like you have communication with others and we have communication back with you through just like the regular ways Canvas works. So you mentioned that you've had a couple of experiences running social media pages in the past, which I'm just using for everyone as an analogy to Canvas as a media page, not Canvas as a social media. How would you say that your communication through media platforms in the past has been? And how has that communication been representative of your character?
I would say that my communication through social platforms has been positive. Pulling from Canvas directly, I used to send Canvas announcements regularly to Hall Council members through Canvas when I was on IRHC. And I always got very positive feedback on those. They were long, detailed announcements full of information that they needed, and they were always very appreciative of it. And I think that as far as how that represents my character, I think that it represents like my dependability and my dedication to organizations that I serve.
All right, I believe that's Senator Rigadell. There's no last name there, so we'll just go with Senator Rigadell. Go ahead.
Hi, yes, thank you. Hi, candidate Connor. My question is, have you ever taken a typing test? If so, what are your characters per minute?
I have never taken a typing test. Actually, that's something that I should probably do. I don't really know my characters per minute. I can say that I type reasonably fast. I'm not beating any world records, but I type like slightly above average, I would mark myself.
All right, 108 is my words per minute. You should take a typing test. They're great. Senator Soto, go ahead.
I have 2 questions. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. My first question is, are you financially certified by FSU?
I took the financial certification exam Monday afternoon, and I have not heard back yet, but I have been financially certified in the past, so I don't anticipate any issue with that.
Okay, and my second question is, seeing that sometimes we have some like mix-ups with like legislation being sent to committees, and since that would be your role, how would you navigate that?
I would navigate it by getting it resolved as quickly as possible. I have a rough idea of what all the committees do. I look forward to, receiving more leadership and advice from Senate leadership. But I'm going to be honest, I probably will make mistakes. And I'm going to get those resolved as soon as I'm made aware of them and as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. Final call once more. Senator Randall, Chair Randall, you seem like you're on the edge of your seat. Yes.
I'll go ahead and say, so I just got to say, Senator Rigodel, that typing question was just immaculate, sir. That I'd never heard that before. That's a great question.
Is there a question here, Chair?
Yeah. Give me a second. My mind's processing real quick. So the question for you, candidate Connor, is surrounding Senator Soto's previous question. There have been some issues with legislation that is approved or amended in Senate getting to either our advisors or the graduate assistant after Senate, just because there's so much legislation that happens. Will you commit to working with the Senate President and Student Senate Pro Tempore to ensuring that that legislation gets to those advisors and it can be officially, signed off?
Yes, absolutely. And I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Final call for questions once again. All right, seeing none, we will now move into the candidates closing. So Chloe, you will have 1 minute and 11 seconds. Let me pull up the clock again. Yep, 1 minute and 11 seconds, and you may begin whenever you are ready.
Thank you so much for all the questions, y'all. It was really great to hear from everyone who spoke. I hope that I answered all of the questions fully and cleared up any, issues or, reservations that anyone had. And I yield. Thank you so much.
Candidate waives the remainder of their time. At this point, usually would move them into the waiting room, but I don't see much point in doing that here. So is there either a motion to enter either roundtable or pro-con? If we don't want to do debate, we can move to call the question, but we do have to enter a debate at least. So yes, Senator Rigodel, go ahead.
A move to enter roundtable.
All right, is there a second to that motion? Senator Gonzalez?
No, seconded.
All right, are there any objections? Okay, seeing none, we are now in roundtable discussion. Are there any senators wishing to comment at all, give their opinion? Otherwise, if debate is exhausted, then we can entertain a motion to call the question and vote on the candidate. Yes, Senator Hitchcock, thank you. Go ahead.
I move to call the question.
Okay, Senator Gonzalez, is that a second? Nope. Okay, Senator Rigodel, then let's go through this.
I was going to second, but if Senator Gonzalez has a question, go ahead.
So, Senator Gonzalez, you wishing to? All right. Yeah, Senator Gonzalez objects. So Senator Hitchcock, do you withdraw the motion to call the question?
Yes.
Okay, we are back in roundtable discussion. Senator Gonzalez, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do just want to say that the only thing that worries me is that spring elections is one of the biggest elections and also one of the most feisty elections. It gets very heated. And the reason I asked some of my questions is because obviously it's hearsay, but I heard that this candidate was saying things about me. It's not about anyone else, it's about me. And so I think that's the only thing that worries me is her political affiliations and how that would affect her going into this role. But with that, I yield.
All right, yeah, okay. Senator Martin, go ahead. Chair Martin, go ahead.
I just want to say that I really like this candidate. Talking about listening to some of the questions that were asked, we have other SGA leaders in this Zoom call who are also affiliated with a political party who were also forwarded with the full consent of Senate. They're probably also a dues paying member. Don't want to say if they are or not, but that is something to consider as well, is that, you know, we are trying to be bipartisan with the two parties that we, 2, 3, whatever parties that we have. This shouldn't be any different as well. This person is saying that, she's saying that, you know, that she'll be able to do her best. And to my knowledge, she was forwarded before the elections happened as well. So that is also something to consider, but I think that she answered the questions beautifully, did her best to be able to just say everything that was being said. And we really need a clerk. So something else to consider.
All right. I forgot to mention, so in IA, we have a rule where we enter deliberation is limited to 15 minutes. So I didn't start that timer until now, but technically we're on the clock. We got 15 minutes until I guess we would look for a motion to call the question. But Chair Randall, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair England. Yep, I got to echo some of the things that Chair Martin said. This is a nonpartisan role. They do 3 things. They take minutes, they pass documents around, and they oversee the Canvas page. And that's it. They can't and really shouldn't do anything more than that, because we've got other people that do other things. And, you know, the answers were great. We got forwarded, I think we're lucky, I would say, to be forwarded somebody from a bureau. So they've got a little bit of institutional knowledge of SGA. They've got knowledge of, you know, writing stuff. They've got knowledge of taking minutes. And they've got knowledge of passing documents around. And apparently they also have knowledge of managing Canvas page, which not many people have, it sounds like. Those are the boxes that need to be checked. President Harmon asked if this candidate was organized, and the candidate answered yes. These are the boxes that need to be checked for me. They also, very surprisingly to me, they're more involved in some ways than myself. You know, they're involved in the Student Conduct Board. I'm not involved in the Student Conduct Board. So, you know, I appreciate this candidate's involvement. I appreciate their commitment to being nonpartisan. And I think they're going to take minutes.
Okay, thank you. Chair Roy, go ahead.
All right, thank you. So I just wanted to speak as a former clerk on this candidate and on this process. And I just want to say that definitely the candidate seems very experienced. It's someone I would definitely look forward to having in this position. And as well, I understand that there are a lot of concerns about partisanship, but for one, the clerk isn't a partisan position. And early on in my SGA career, I knew that if I was here as a senator, the first thing I would do is shut down people who'd want to keep people out of SGA because of prior affiliations, because that is something I've heard so many times, mostly for Senate positions. But it was something that worried me when I ran for clerk my first time, when I applied for different things like even PAC. So it's definitely something I wouldn't want to see as a issue going forward. As well, I know that there has been some hearsay, some comments of just concerns, and I hope that these can be addressed and worked out, whether it be individually or whether it just be in understanding that this is a body that respects each other, that doesn't try to openly attack each other. And I'm sure that can be very good going forward. So I just want to say, as a clerk candidate, I look forward to voting yes, and I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you very much, Chair Roy. I'm kind of trying to do this in order of the folks that raise their hands. So Chair Stinson, you were next. Go ahead.
Yeah, I everything Chair Randall and Chair Martin said earlier, this is a really apolitical position. It seems like she enjoys taking minutes. I can't say that I necessarily do, but that's great that we have somebody who does. And I think she is a perfect candidate for this position.
Thank you very much. Pro Tempore Wang, you are recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Chair England. I just want to say we desperately need a Senate clerk. Every Wednesday we sit in our leadership meetings and we go over the calendar and we're like, did you get this consent resolution? Did you get this and this and this? It's so messy at the moment and we need a Senate clerk, and that's the biggest thing. I think she is so qualified. Like, if you know me at all, my big thing is minutes. That's what was super important to me in judiciary. My minutes were I mean, I want to say pretty close to perfect, and I expect the same from her because she clearly has so much experience taking minutes, so much experience running a Canvas page, which was Harmon's idea. But yeah, I'm in full support of this candidate, and I yield.
Senator Gonzalez, you may go ahead. And because we're in IA, there is no limit to how many times someone can speak in debate. So you're not limited to speaking twice. Just a point of clarification. Senator Gonzalez, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With that said, I move to call the question.
Fantastic. All right, was not expecting that. Is there a second? Yes, Senator Martin, Chair Martin.
I didn't know I could unmute myself, so seconded.
Fantastic. Are there any objections to the motion of calling the question? All right, seeing none, we will now call the question. So at that point, can I defer to Pro Tempore Wang to conduct am I allowed to do that?
Would it be me or Stoltz?
So, Quentin, we wrote this rule back then when I was pro tempore. The pro tempore can give up the vice chairship if she so chooses. If she chooses not to, she doesn't have to. It's,
okay.
It's not hand in hand like it used to be.
Yes. Okay, I remember this. Yes, we're the ones that made this rule. So Pro Tempore Wang, it doesn't default to Stoltz unless you choose it to. So it's up to you whether you would like to conduct the vote or if you would like. Interestingly, Vice Chair Stoltz does conduct it the same way you do in Senate. So maybe if he's here, maybe it would be cool to give him some time in the spotlight, but it is your choice.
He just messaged me that I can do it.
Oh, very good. Okay, well, the floor is yours.
Does she need a closing?
We already did that before we moved into debate. So yeah, we are ready to vote, and then that is the result and the decision of the committee.
Cool. It's been a long time. I'm sorry. Those wishing to vote yes on the candidate, please raise your hands. All right, please keep your hands up. Okay, hang on, guys. Y'all are changing your votes. All right, those wishing to vote no on the candidate, please raise your hands. Senator Stoltz, you voted twice. I'm not quite sure what you want to vote on, so please message me. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. All right, vote. Oh, is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 28 yes, 5 no, 5 abstentions. Candidate does pass.
All right, congratulations, Ms. Connor. You have passed the Internal Affairs Committee. God forbid we have to go through this whole thing again in 2 minutes' time when you're forwarded, but you are officially forwarded to the full Senate. And with that, I will look for a motion to exit the Committee of the Whole. Senator Gonzalez.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Pro Temp Wang.
So seconded.
All right. Are there any objections to exiting Committee of the Whole? Fantastic. Well, it has been a pleasure, y'all, and I will hand the chair back to the president. Thank you and good night.
All right, thank you, Chair England. Is there a motion to accept the decision of the committee as the decision of the whole? Senator Gonzalez.
So moved.
Is there a second? Senator Randall.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the decision of Internal Affairs is accepted as the decision of Senate. Congratulations, Clerk Connor. Pro Tempore Wang, please administer the oath.
Candidates for student body offices may choose to replace the words "so help me God" with "on pain of impeachment" when taking the oath of office. Do you understand?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Chloe Connor,
Promise to support and defend
promise to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the state of Florida,
the state of Florida,
and the Florida State University student body.
and the Florida State University student body.
And I shall perform my duties to the best of my ability.
And I shall support. Sorry, what was it again?
And I shall perform my duties
Shall perform my duties
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Clerk Connor.
Thank you.
Ooh, we have a clerk now. All right, so you're good for this week. If you'd like to stay on the call, you can. I'm not going to require you this today, but starting next week, you'll be working. So enjoy. Congratulations. All right. Consent Resolution 14, sponsored by Senator Roy, in which the Programming Allocations Committee met on Monday, March 22nd, 2021 at 6 p.m. and was petitioned by the following organizations: the Diverse World Fashion, in which they were funded $2,050 in the category of expense, for a total of $2,050. And seeing as though this is above the $2,000 threshold needed for a vote, this is a line item vote. Please welcome the sponsor of Consent Resolution 14 to the floor, Pack Chair Roy. All right, you all have 5 minutes to explain the line item. Whatever you don't use is in your clothing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
All right, good evening, Senates. So on Monday, we heard from Diverse World Fashion, which is an organization that puts together and distributes magazines. The point of this is to have people of all races, of all sizes, and it's a great way for a variety of majors, from marketing to photography to even people within like retail, entrepreneurship, writing, and media, come together to put their skills to use so they can show it, possibly get some business connections from it. And this is something that's we had heard in PAC. We tabled it because they originally requested less and we didn't think it would be enough to distribute to the student body. But with this new amount, we were fully in favor of funding. They've definitely done their work. They've done their research. They have the SGA logo inside, and we could not be happier to fund. So we hope it has your support. And if you have any questions, you can reach out.
Sponsor yields 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, is there a motion to call the question? Chair Randall.
I move to call the question.
Chair Rudolph.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, sponsor, you have 4 minutes and 6 seconds for your closing.
All right, thank you for your time. And again, I wanted to mention that we also worked with them so that they had 2 days to distribute out on Landis from 12 to 4. So they'll definitely advertise. They've shown those advertisements. It's completely planned. Again, we have our full faith in this event. So thank you. Have a great night.
Sponsor waives the remainder of his time. We are now in line to vote. This requires a 2/3 vote. Pro Tempore Wang.
All right, those wishing to vote yes on this line item, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Anyone wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 32 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Line item does pass.
All right, congratulations to the sponsor. The line item is approved. Moving on to the Afro Latinx Student Association, which was zero funded in all categories for a total of $0. And then the esports at Florida State, which was funded $744 in the category of clothing and awards for a total of $744, bringing the total for consent resolution 14 to $2,794. Is there a motion to approve consent resolution 14? Chair England.
Move to adopt the consent resolution.
Is there a second? Senator Gonzalez.
So seconded.
Is there any objections? Seeing none, consent resolution 14 is approved. Congratulations, sponsor. All right, bills on first reading. Bill 3, sponsored by Senator Villacorta, referred to judiciary, tabled in judiciary, awaiting an advisory opinion. Probably, I think so. Bill 21, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek as the primary sponsor, referred to budget, then SLAW, internal affairs, judiciary. It remains tabled in budget. Bill 28, sponsored by Senator Randall, adding clarifying language to statutes regarding meeting minutes. That will go to judiciary. Bill 29, sponsored by Senator Randall, reformatting the Senate financial certification statute and expand the duties of the student Senate pro tempore related to financial certification of senators will also go to judiciary. Bill 30, sponsored by Senator Linsky, to streamline the promulgation of constitutional amendments passed by the Senate. That will also go to judiciary. All right. Bills on second reading. Bill 19, sponsored by Senator Stinson and Linsky as primary sponsors, elucidating the legislative subpoena powers vested in the Senate by the Student Body Constitution, subject to limited oversight by the University General Counsel. This was tabled on the floor, and we will begin it as if it's a new bill because it remains tabled. All right, sponsors, you have 5 minutes for your opening. Whatever you don't use for your opening is reserved for your closing. Just raise your hand so I can unmute you. All right, there we go. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We tabled this last week because another senator wisely pointed out that we don't have a SGA General Counsel right now. How can we rely on having an SGA General Counsel, especially when in the statutes there's supposed to be 2 of them and we have 0? So over the course of the week, we've collaborated, Senator and Chair Stinson and I, with Chair Randall to find a better way, a simpler way, an easier way to do this. And we think that we have by essentially removing the General Counsel's role. So no limited oversight by the General Counsel and importing those duties to the Student Senate President. So the process would be 3 steps. 1, subpoena is issued by an investigative board or a standing committee. 2, Student Senate President within 8 days verifies that it hits all of those 7 subsections, which you can see a little bit lower in the bill. And 3, after that's done, it goes to the full Senate for a vote. This is easier, it's simpler, it's more streamlined, and it still embodies the purpose of the bill, which is to give the subpoena process more clarity, more structure, and to really emphasize the legislative will and deliberation behind this body issuing a subpoena, which is not the usual course of business.
We'll just deal with that. He kind of just hit everything, so.
All right, sponsors yield 3 minutes and 35 seconds to their closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Chair Randall.
Mr. President, I move to amend Bill 19 as you see on the screen.
Oh, is Pro Tempore Wang already sharing the?
Yeah, she's already showing the amended one.
All right, is there a second to the amendment? Could you clarify actually what the amendment is before everybody seconds it?
Yep, give me 1 moment. Okay, so the amendment removes the entire language about the SGA General Counsel and puts all of the requirements for the subpoena, where the subpoena, where those requirements belong under sort of the subpoena. Yes, right there, Pro Tem Wang, right there. So those are where the requirements now live. And then if you go scroll down a little bit, Pro Tem Wang, to point 2. Okay, so now in the timeline, it revises that too. So it takes the general counsel out of that and it says, here's what's going to happen. It's going to go to the investigative board, then the president, then the full Senate's going to approve it. And it also, in this version, as opposed to the previous one, talks about how it's actually going to be presented to the Senate. I guess before it wasn't necessarily specified, but now it's going to be in the form of a resolution.
All right. Is there a second to this amendment? Senator Rigodel?
I second, but I have a question for the sponsors.
All right, we'll do this. We can do this all after the amendment. All right, is there an objection to the amendment? Seeing none, do the sponsors find it friendly?
I do.
Sponsors find it friendly. The amendment is adopted. We are now on the bill as amended with 2 minutes in the first round of pro. Senator Rigodel, you had a point of information.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes, did the sponsors mention there was no current SGA General Counsel? And how does the SGA General Counsel differ from the judicial branch General Counsels?
So the SGA General Counsel is, I think, the judicial branch General Counsels, and those positions are vacant. You'll see in section 509 of the student body statutes, it outlines the university General Counsel, which is appointed by the student body president and confirmed by the Senate. And statutes say there's supposed to be no less than 2 of them at a time. We don't have any right now. On a side note, I've asked the president-elect of the Student Bar Association to recommend people to potentially fill that role so we can have general counsels pursuant to the statute.
Chair Randall, you have a point?
Yep, I have a point of information. Great question, Senator Rigodel. I just had this conversation with the judicial branch. I met with the Chief Justice yesterday. We talked about it. Basically, there are 2 offices in the judicial branch that do representing of students. There's one that defends people, the University Defender. Yeah, this is a point of clarification, sorry.
Oh, you're clear. Okay, point of clarification.
I'm dumb. Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you, President Harmon. Clarification. And the other one helps people write complaints and things like that. General counsel, all they do is they help write complaints. So when I was making the amendment, I didn't even think they were properly the right people to be overseeing this, because all they do is they help people write complaints. So that's just sort of an explanation of what those 2 things do.
Thank you, Chair Randall. Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, this is a point of information for the sponsors. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Judiciary Committee is one of the standing committees that has the power to subpoena as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I might be wrong, but does this change that?
No, it does not. But I would be open to an amendment to clarify that it's not just investigative boards, but standing committees have this power. So if you look at, I guess it's G right down there, where it says an investigative board, if you want to amend that to be very specific to say, or a standing committee can do that. But I think that might, and I'm not sure of this, but my reading of the Constitution was the Constitution vests subpoena power into the standing committees already, which, to be safe, I would say if that's a concern, amend it. We'll find it friendly, I believe. But I'm not certain that it's a necessary amendment. But again, better safe than sorry.
All right, we have 2 minutes in the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak? Chair Randall.
If it's all right, I'd like to speak in pro, Mr. President. So just real quick, I worked on this with Chair Linsky and Chair Stinson. Just to sort of figure out how this would actually work. I think the investigative board is a good way of doing this, and I don't know what the precedent is, but I think it's a good way of putting subpoenas forth, because I think if any committee wants to look into an issue, it's just a good way of doing it. But I think obviously an amendment would be interesting just to look at. I think the language is good. I like that they tried to define these things. I didn't really change much around. I just moved things and took a few things out when I worked with them on this. But I really like this bill.
Chair Randall yields 1 minute and 16 seconds to the first round of pro. Point, Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, point of information, because I genuinely do not know. So Linsky, you mentioned constitutionality. So constitutionally, are we allowed to then vest that subpoena power from a standing committee to a subcommittee of a standing committee?
Yes, yes. You can do that. You can delegate that power if it's vested. It doesn't need to be explicit. As far as how vesting of powers and rights goes, the Constitution vests certain powers in different branches. It can be specific within the branch. If it reserves a power that's vested to a specific entity, then that power is self-contained unless there's an explicit reasoning or amendment to do otherwise. But without restrictions, there is no reason that a power that's been vested to the Senate as a whole and specifically has been then delegated to standing committees, why that could not be further delegated with the consent of everybody pursuant to their voting mechanism within that specific body, whether it be a standing committee or an investigative board.
All right, we have 1 minute and 16 seconds in the first round of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to speak at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con on the amended bill? Seeing none, is there a motion? Senator Gonzalez,
I move to call the question.
Senator Marcus,
So seconded.
are there any objections? Seeing none, sponsors, you have 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to your closing. 1 second. You may begin whenever you're ready. Oh, I lost you, Chair. There we go. All right, you may begin.
Yeah, so this bill, we spent weeks working on this. We appreciate you, Chair Randall, coming out and helping us clarify a lot of those things. And I don't know, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours that we spent debating a lot of things that were just not very clear at all during the impeachment. Actually, a lot of that specific debating was between me and Linsky. So it was nice to have the reach across the aisle and talk about this. And like it was completely insignificant that we were debating. We just genuinely wanted to make it more clear and easier for everybody. And so yeah, if Senator Linsky or Chair Linsky has anything else to say on Cam, but I guess I'll just let you yield if you don't have anything else to say.
It was my first experience with bipartisanship on a bill here, and big ups to Senator and Chair Stenson for reaching across the aisle and asking to get this done. I'm glad that that happened. I'm glad I took you up on it, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you outside of these chambers while doing things that are good for these chambers.
All right, senators yield the remainder of, or waive the remainder of their time. We are now in line to vote on the bill as amended. Pro Tempore Wang.
Those wishing to vote yes on the bill, please raise your hands. Senators, if you are on the call, please raise your hands or please vote. All right, those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 30 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Bill 19 does pass.
Congratulations, sponsors. Your bill has passed. We'll move on to the next bill. Before we move on to the next bill, if you're in this call, please stay on the call. Please vote. And it would be really nice if I could see your faces. You know, I don't get to meet any of you in person. We don't get to meet each other in person. So if you do have a camera that is working and you are decent, you may please turn on your camera so that we can feel like we're actually in a Senate. And I'd also like to ask newer senators to start participating a little bit. It's been a few months. I think you got the hang of it, but we'd really like to see your hands up. At least I would. So, you know, if anything, do a second, like that's easy. So, all right, Bill 23, sponsored by Senator Marcus as the primary sponsor, Randall, Tackett, Soto, Ramos, Nasworthy, Lassard, Murcia, Villacorta, Arut, and Stoltz as co-sponsors, allocating Senate project funds to Planned Parenthood Generation Action for the second installation of changing tables in highly trafficked bathrooms on campus, referred to SLAW, then budget, passed in SLAW, passed in budget. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor. All right, sponsors, you have 5 minutes for your opening. You may begin whenever you're ready. All sponsors that are wishing to speak, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you.
Okay, so I'll begin. This is super straightforward. This money was specifically, it went through the sweepings committee specifically for this purpose within the Senate. It is the exact same bill, just different locations, with those locations being Westcott, Diffenbaugh, and Dirac. So 3 other very highly trafficked buildings around our campus, installing 2 changing tables per building. It's very straightforward. No, this money is not going towards any other purpose other than changing tables, I promise. It's very straightforward. It helps a lot of people. This passed the first round of the bill almost unanimously, and I hope it does the same for the second. With that, I yield.
Sponsor yields 4 minutes and 14 seconds to his closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions for the sponsor at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Senator England.
We passed the first half of this before. Let's pass the second half. Let's move it along. Let's keep it moving. I yield.
Senator yields 1 minute and 57 seconds to the remainder of pro. Senator Soto.
Yeah, so as someone who frequently performs in Westcott, I feel like this is very essential, especially since a lot of families bring their children to concerts and stuff. And knowing that, you know, once everyone hopefully gets the vaccine and the COVID stuff settles down, we'll probably have more in-person stuff again. So it would really be beneficial. So yeah, I yield in pro.
Senator yields 1 minute and 34 seconds to the remainder of pro. Senator Rigadell.
I move to call the question.
A little too early for that, but thank you. We
God
can't
damn
do
it.
it until we get to con. But if you'd like to speak in pro, you can.
All right, great bill. Let's keep moving. Come on.
All right, sponsor, Senator yields 1 minute and 33 seconds, the remainder of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? All right, seeing none, I will now take a motion to call the question. Senator Rigadell. Oh, you put your hand down. All right.
I call the question.
There we go. All right. Is there a second? Senator Kubis.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? All right. Seeing none. Sponsor, you have 4 minutes and 14 seconds left in your closing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Yeah, super straightforward. We've already done the first half. Helps a lot of people. With that, I yield.
Senator waives the remainder of his time. We are now in line to vote. Pro tempore Wang.
All right, those wishing to vote yes, please raise your hands. All right, those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. And those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 32 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Bill 23 does pass.
Congratulations, sponsors. Your bill has passed. Did y'all see all those seconds? How exciting. All right, we'll move on to the next bill. We have Bill 24, sponsored by Senator Little and Ramos as primary sponsors, and Marcus as Senator Hitchcock.
Yeah, I was going to ask to unlock the calendar to go back to bills on first reading.
Is there a reason why?
Yeah, I have another bill to put forward, and then I want to go into SLA as a whole so we can pass it pretty quickly.
Okay, all right, we will unlock the calendar. Is there a motion to unlock the calendar?
Yeah, I moved to
Oh, yeah,
unlock the
you
calendar.
motioned. All right, is there a second point? Wait, let's do the second, and then I'll hear the point. Senator Nasworthy?
So seconded.
Point, Senator Gonzalez?
Yeah, just point of information to Senator Hitchcock. What is the bill about? Is it like time sensitive? Is there a reason?
Hitchcock?
Yeah, so this bill is just for Peace Jam, and it's just so that we can get it out of SLA, and then I think to budget, maybe finance, I forget. But it's just putting the money forward, and they need to get the invoicing quickly.
Okay. I see. Yes, it's the bill. Okay, so it's a bill for Peace Jam that was passed in the 72nd that was never signed by the previous Senate presidents, plural. And so I guess they're doing it again. Points, Senator Martin.
Sorry, the point is, this one is from the executive projects. So not Senate projects.
Oh, well, if you told me that, it doesn't need to go to SLA. It just needs to go to budget.
Oh.
Senate projects has to go to SLA. Okay, so this makes our lives 10 times easier. All right. Are there any objections to unlocking the calendar? Senator Gonzalez.
Wait, Harmon, do you need me to object or no?
No. We can do this. It's all fine. Yeah. All right. Seeing no objections, the calendar is unlocked. We're back at the end of bills on first reading. Senator Hitchcock.
Yeah, I'd like to put forward a bill for first reading. I just sent it to both of y'all.
All right. And that will be Bill 31 as soon as we get it.
Yeah, sorry, Senate.
All right, there we go. You're good.
Did you send it to the president and pro temp emails?
Yeah, I just got it, so I'll share it. Oh. All right. This will be Bill 31. Clerk Connor, make sure you're watching this. This will be Bill 31, and this will be going to just budget. It only has to go to budget because it is executive projects. All right. Senator Gonzalez.
I call for the orders of the day.
All right, Senator Soto.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? All right, we're now back on Bill 24. All right, that was fun. Sponsored by Senator Little and Ramos as primary sponsors, Marcus as a co-sponsor, officially correcting the nomenclature of the former Golden Tribe lecture series to the Golden Torch lecture series and statutes, referred to judiciary, passed in judiciary by unanimous consent. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor. All right, Senator Ramos, Senator Marcus, and Senator, wow, all of y'all have your cameras on. How amazing. You will all have 5 minutes for your opening. You may begin whenever you're ready.
So good evening, Senate. Today, this bill is pretty straightforward. It's just here to update the name to the new name. Just to reiterate, it's just a correction. We're just fixing it. We're not adding anything new. We're not really advocating for a huge change. But since many asked before, the school was in contact with the tribe. They sort of said that they had their own, the school had their own discretion regarding it. So I guess the school decided to change it and is now calling it Golden Torch instead of Golden Tribe. So we're just here to sort of update it and statute so that it's correct.
Yeah, we've gotten confirmation from the group itself that Golden Torch is the name that they are using. So this is effectively just correcting the statutes and catching it up with what's already in use and has been in use for a little while now.
Yeah, I had email communication with Union Productions about this. This is something that has been in the works for a long time. The great former Senator Alvarez did a lot of work on this. And this is just finally coming to fruition after communication, and we are happy to bring it to the floor tonight. Unless any of my co-sponsors have anything else to say, we yield to our closing.
Sponsors yield 3 minutes and 47 seconds to their closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in this round? Seeing none, is there a motion? Senator England?
I'm going to motion to pass by unanimous consent.
You move to pass by unanimous consent? All right, is there a second? Senator Soto?
So seconded.
Any objections? Seeing none, Bill 24 passes by unanimous consent. Congratulations to the sponsors. Bill 25, sponsored by Senator Ramos and Marcus as primary sponsors and Little as co-sponsors, correcting student body statutes to reflect the correct nomenclature of FSU Homecoming's signature event, Homecoming Live, referred to judiciary, passed in judiciary. Please welcome the sponsors back to the floor. And you all will have 5 minutes for your opening.
So, hey everyone again, this bill is also a name changing, just updating statutes to reflect the new name of Homecoming Live instead of Homecoming Powwow. And just so everyone knows, we got the okay from Homecoming. We have email communication with them as well as the press release that they sent out. And just so everyone knows, the school did contact the tribe, and the tribe said, yeah, we definitely want you guys to change that. Amy Heck told me that in a meeting. And we're just here to update the name to the correct name. But also, this is an omnibus bill. I'm not really sure how that works. I think it needs a 2/3 vote, but that's just to let you guys know. And if Chair Little or Senator Marcus has anything to add, they can go ahead.
Yeah, so unfortunately, this one cannot be passed by unanimous consent because it is an omnibus, because it powwow was in statute so many times that we had to make so many changes that it became this big thing. It's very straightforward. It does the exact same thing. I've been in contact with both. We've been in contact with both the school and Homecoming Council on this, and this name change is already in effect. So this one is very straightforward. With that, we yield to closing.
All right, sponsors yield 3 minutes and 48 seconds to their, wow, 1 second than before. All right, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Are there any technical non-debatable questions? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion? Senator England?
Yeah, move to call a question.
Is there a second? Senator Rudolph?
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, sponsors, you have 3 minutes and 48 seconds to your closing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Yep, this is very straightforward. It's just fixing statutes. It does need a 2/3 vote to pass, so we hope to meet that threshold. Unless my co-sponsors have anything else to say, we yield.
All right, sponsors yield the remainder of their, waive the remainder of their time. We are now in line to vote. Pro Tempore Wang.
Those wishing to vote yes, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. All right, those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 33 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Bill 25 does pass.
Congratulations, sponsors. Your bill has passed. Bill 26, sponsored by Senator Linsky, to ensure the records of official SGA meetings are kept, maintained, and publicized. Referred to Judiciary, passed, and Judiciary. Please welcome the sponsor. Sponsor, you have 5 minutes for your opening. You may begin whenever you're ready.
All right, this is the latest of artifacts from the impeachment. What have we learned? What can we do? How can things be different? And in this, we attack the issue of what's an official act? When does that constitute a public meeting? When does that constitute compliance with sunshine? That wasn't really in the previous iteration of the student body statutes. Now we have a few examples. If you could pull it up, that would be great. And actually, I'm going to yield, and please ask questions so I can reserve some time to the closing.
All right, sponsor yields 4 minutes and 23 seconds to his closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions for the sponsor? Chair Randall.
Senator Linsky, I just realized I'm proposing a bill that's changing these minutes as well. If I were to send you the text of it, would you be open to amendments in this bill on the floor?
Yeah, I would.
All right, are there any other technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Seeing none, I think we're waiting on an amendment as well. Senator Marcus?
Full time as we wait on an amendment. I spoke in pro of this in committee. So I spoke of how I was doing research because my friends were running for SGA at another university. And the first thing that pulled up when I searched that university's SGA was an executive cabinet meeting. So it's pretty clear that there is precedent at other universities across this country that would be considered an official act of SGA. And I feel like this clarifies some of the problems that we ran into during those ridiculously long Senate meetings dealing with actions related to this. I feel like this clarifies a lot of that and reduces some of that confusion, and thus I am in pro of it.
Senator yields 1 minute and 14 seconds for the remainder of the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak at this time? Chair Little.
Yes, point of information for the sponsor. Can you explain for us why you decided to include that acts that are in violation, right here, it's on the screen, that any actions taken at meetings found in violation of this act are to be declared null and void, and from which authority do you derive this?
Okay, so this is derived from the Sunshine Law. The penalty, the consequence for violation of the Sunshine Law is that acts that are taken in meetings that have been improperly not disclosed the actions are void ab initio, which means that they don't exist. They're void from their outset. They never happened. So this is a simpler way of saying it without using the fancy Latin stuff. It's essentially like, hey, you didn't follow the rules. Therefore, this meeting did not happen under official auspices. Therefore, you did not have the power to make any of those decisions. So the decisions that you thought you made, you actually didn't.
All right, there's 1 minute and 12 seconds in the first round of pros. Chair Randall.
Mr. President, I move to amend this bill to add the following language to 203.6A. To insert under 203.6, adding A and 1.
All right. Minutes shall be written to reflect any and all business conducted within a meeting. This includes any discussions, deliberations, and decisions made. And then A1 reads, deliberations shall, at the very least, include a summary of the reasoning behind all decisions. Is there a second to that amendment? Chair England.
Sure, for the purpose of debate, I will second.
Are there any objections to this amendment? All right, does the sponsor find it friendly?
I do find it friendly.
All right, the amendment is adopted. The bill we are reading is as amended. We'll get that added in there somehow. All right, there's 1 minute and 12 seconds left in the remainder of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Little?
Yes, I actually, I would like to move to amend the bill. Just to correct the history, the statute number and the history part of it. I believe it should be Bill 26. It says revised by the 73rd Student Senate Bill hashtag, and it should be Bill 26, I believe.
Okay, I believe that falls under the statute that it's just a grammatical little change that like SGA staff can do. So
Got it.
we'll get that fixed. Actually, let me write that down. All right, is there a motion? Chair England.
I will move to call the question.
Is there a second? Senator Neiman.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, sorry. We are in the sponsor's closing of 4 minutes and 23 seconds. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, Senate, for hearing another one of my bills. I want to shine some light on somebody who I think was essential to this process. Parliamentarian Rowan was very, very helpful in centering me with this bill. And yeah, really appreciated the opportunity to work with him. And again, Senator Randall coming in the clutch with an amendment that improves the bill. I am very happy to have presented this and to seeing this gone the way that it did. And I yield.
Sponsor waives the remainder of his time. That is the bill as amended with that amendment included. Thank you, Pro Tempore Wang. And we are now in line to vote.
Okay, before we do that, does that look right to the sponsor of the amendment?
Yep, I see a thumbs up. So
Okay, cool. Let me stop sharing. All right, those wishing to vote yes on the bill, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no on the bill, please raise your hands. All right, those wishing to vote, or those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 34 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Bill 26 does pass.
all right. Bill. Yes, that was Bill 26. Bill 27, sponsored by Senator Tackett as the primary sponsor, Arut, Stoltz, and Linsky as co-sponsors, transferring $845.60 from Senate projects to the Food for Thought Pantry to support sustaining supplies through summer and initiatives to destigmatize student hunger, referred to budget then SLAW, passed in budget, passed in SLAW. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor. Chair Randall, let's just wait until after this bill and then we'll do it. All right. Sponsors, please raise your hand. All right, you will have 5 minutes for your opening.
Hello, everyone. So this bill is pretty straightforward. It's to fund the Food for Thought Pantry for $850, just to sustain their bag supply throughout the summer semester. However, this bill does not represent just that. This bill also represents a battle against the destigmatization of hunger on campus. By funding them for the $850 for reusable bags, we're freeing up space and resources for them to fight the destigmatization. Also, this is the first bill of several that will be coming through in the next couple of weeks that will be fighting this destigmatization through funding of promotional items like H frames and like reusable utensils. And this is right now with the pandemic, we've had issues with hunger on campus, students being afraid to use the Food for Thought Pantry or not knowing where it is and how it works. So these these myriad of bills are gonna be coming through are gonna kind of help solve these issues. And this is the first one to kind of help with their operational issues. We've spoken to the director and we've talked up amongst each other, and this is the best way to go about it. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. I yield the rest of my time.
Sponsor yields 3 minutes and 59 seconds to the remainder of his closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we will move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Senator Linsky.
I think that this is an excellent bill. Destigmatization of food insecurity is not easy, and it can't be solved by spending money. It can only be forwarded and helped by promotion, which I'm glad to do as a member of the Senate. I'm glad to do it again. But one thing that does stick out for me is I wonder how sustainable it is to expect students to spend the activities and service fees on charitable items that I believe should be accounted for by the university. Yet there's no way for us to solve that problem today. The best that I think we can do is to give the pantry what they need to keep this issue salient, so that people realize if they don't, and if they are hungry, that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Being hungry is part of the human condition. There is food to help with that. And please, please, please use the food pantry if you even for a second wonder, where's my next meal coming from?
Senator yields 48 seconds to the first round of pro. Senator Little.
Yes, I want to echo the sentiments of the previous senator and commend the sponsor for this legislation. Student hunger was a problem before the coronavirus pandemic hit our campus. And now it's even more exacerbated and less talked about because there are so many other issues that people are dealing with. So I think this is a great use of our funding. And I definitely agree with the sentiment that in the future, we should work towards not having students being the ones that have to put forth money towards this cause, because it really is important. So I yield.
Senator yields 23 seconds, the remainder of pro. Senator Arut.
Yeah, I just want to second, what the previous two senators said. This is a really great bill, and I'm lucky to be able to work with all the sponsors on this bill. And, I hope this can help destigmatize, student hunger, because it is a big issue, pre-COVID and even now, especially during COVID.
Senator yields 7 seconds in the remainder of the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak? Senator Rigadell.
This is a great bill.
All right, there's 4 seconds remaining. There are 4 seconds left in the first round of pro. Senator Marcus.
It's a great bill. I move to extinguish the remaining time.
All right. Is there a second to that? Senator Rigadell.
Seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Any senator wishing to speak? Senator Rigadell. All right. Seeing no one speaking in con, is there a motion? Senator Cubis.
Motion to call to question.
All right, is there a second? Senator Soto.
So seconded.
Any objections? Seeing none, we are now in the sponsors closing. Oh, Senator Cubis, was that an objection or was that?
Oh, no, my bad.
Okay, all right. Sponsor, you have 3 minutes and 59 seconds to your closing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate this. And I hope you guys keep up the same positive sentiment when the next bills come through. It is really a shame that the university does not permanently fund the Food for Thought Pantry, but in the meantime, I will gladly put student fees towards picking up the slack. Yeah, there's multiple different ways to attack this. This is just part of the battle. We need to expand EBT on campus. We need to fund for the Food for Thought Pantry to make them more sustainable. Yeah, this is part of the battle. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I yield.
Sponsor waives remainder of their time. We are now in line to vote. Pro Tempore Wang.
Those wishing to vote yes on Bill 27, please raise your hands. Okay, I see someone clapping. I'm not sure if you meant to raise your hand. All right, those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 34 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Bill 27 does pass.
Congratulations, sponsors. Your bill has passed. Chair Randall.
Mr. President, I withdraw Bill 28.
All right, Bill 28 is withdrawn by sponsor. All right, constitutional amendments, none. Resolutions, Resolution 4, sponsored by Senator Villacorta, remains in rules and calendar until they receive an advisory opinion. Resolution 17, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek, was referred to SLAW, tabled in SLAW, and remains tabled. Resolution 18, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek, was referred to SLAW and tabled in SLAW, where it remains tabled. Resolution 29, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek and Flashman as primary sponsors, and Marcus and Villacorta as co-sponsors, imploring the 73rd Senate to adopt the APPG definition of Islamophobia and its contemporary examples, and condemning Ryan Fournier and CJ Pearson for their public attacks on student senators, referred to SLAW, then rules and calendar, passed in SLAW, tabled in rules and calendar, passed in rules and calendar. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor. Any sponsor wishing to speak can just raise their hands at any time. All right, Senator Flashman, you have 5 minutes for your opening.
Thank you. So basically this resolution, it's pretty simple. I felt we needed a definition of Islamophobia after having a pretty long talk with Senator Darrell Deek. I'm sad he couldn't be here today, but basically the idea is it's pretty much a one-to-one version of the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. Over the time when he was trying to withdraw that, I personally didn't really support the withdrawing of it. However, I did agree with him when he mentioned that we needed some kind of equivalent to protect Islamic students, which is why I'm putting this forward along with him. The other thing is I was personally very shocked by the tweets that were sent out by CJ Pearson and Ryan Fournier. I'm sure most of you guys saw them. I know we talked about them when that happened. But I thought that was a pretty blatant example of it happening to our student senators and even to a lot of you guys that weren't even involved with it. So that's kind of the two things that this is trying to accomplish. So I yield the rest of my time for that.
If the other sponsor is wishing to
Yeah, I
speak.
was gonna say something. I think that this is absolutely necessary. I think that people don't realize the amount of hidden and closeted Islamophobia that exists at our school. For instance, the last time anything of this nature was brought up on the floor, I brought up how there was a video posted on, I don't remember if it was Barstool or Old Row, but one of those Instagram accounts of someone shouting Islamic religious words and throwing a scooter off a parking garage, and it accumulated thousands of views and hundreds of likes, including some likes from people within this chamber. And that was just disgusting, and our student body did not see any issue with that at all. And then furthermore, when those tweets happened, I was just kind of like, where we condemned it, but the powers that be at the university kind of turned a blind eye to it, in my opinion. And I think this is absolutely necessary to point out that, yes, when this line is crossed, we as an SGA recognize that a line has been crossed. And with that, I yield.
All right, sponsors yield 2 minutes and 46 seconds to the remainder of their closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we are now in the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak? Senator Soto.
Hi. So I was actually one of the senators attacked on these tweets, and I really think that this is really important because it's like just how we have the IHRA definition. I really think that we should have a definition that's based on like what Islamophobia is and stuff like that. So I really think because of picking and choosing battles, I really think this is important. So I'm voting yes.
Senator yields 1 minute and 35 seconds to the remainder of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Randall,
With pride, I move to call the question.
is there a second?
Mr. President, I move to pass by unanimous consent.
It requires a 2/3 vote as it is.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Then I keep my original motion.
All right. Is there a second? Senator Rigodel?
Seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, sponsors, you have 2 minutes and 46 seconds left in your closing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Just want to thank you guys so much. Especially if we are able to pass this, I also really hope that the university adopts it, like they adopted the IHRA definition. Obviously, we can't really control that, but it does urge them to do so. So I do hope they follow through with that. But other than that, I think that's all. Thank you guys so much.
Sponsors waive the remainder of their closing. We are now in line to vote. Pro tempore Wang.
All right, those wishing to vote yes, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 33 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Resolution 29 does pass.
All right, congratulations to the sponsors. Your resolution does pass. Resolution 30, sponsored by Senator Gonzalez and Stinson as primary sponsors. Bateman, Bergen, Darldeek, England, Flashman, Gabadaj, Gonzalez, Grunberger, J. Hitchcock, Hunter, Lassard, Linsky, Little, Marcus, Millian, Mouget, Murcia, Murray, Nemus, Prescia, Sam, Soto, Stoltz, Villacorta, and Wang, all as co-sponsors. So basically most of the Senate. 73rd Senate nominates Dr. Brandon Bowden for the FSU Student Senate Award for Excellence for his distinguished service to the FSU community and SG&A, referred to SLAW, passed in SLAW. Please welcome to the sponsors to the floor. Chair Randall, you have a point, I think.
I moved to have the bill read in its entirety.
Okay, all right. I was trying to think if you had to do that before or after starting, but yeah, I'll just read it. Is there a second for that? Chair Rudolph?
So seconded.
Any objections? All right. Seeing none, let me get that opened. There we go. All right. All right. I'm not going to read the primary sponsors and co-sponsors because I've already just read that. Whereas Dr. Brandon Bowden serves as the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs at Florida State University, where he directly supervises areas such as the Center for Leadership and Social Change, the Center for Global Engagement, the student unions, the Student Engagement Department, and, the student union, not the student unions. The Student Engagement Department and co-supervises the Center for Academic Retention and Enhancement, also known as CARE, along with the Dean of Undergraduate Studies. And whereas Dr. Bowden stepped in as an interim director of the Student Governance and Advocacy and interim director of student engagement at the end of July 2020, following the departure of Dr. Daniela Costa. And whereas with this role, he became the interim advisor of the Student Senate, tasked with supporting student senators personally and professionally, while assuring administrative tasks were being performed in an efficient and statutory form. And whereas student senators would like to personally thank Dr. Bowden for his contribution and influence to the Student Senate and our individual growth in the following way. And whereas Senator Bateman says, quote, "Thank you for providing the candor, advice, and guidance of an excellent advisor. I've greatly enjoyed working for you over these past few months." And whereas Senator Bergen says, "Thank you for everything you do, Dr. Bowden. The effort and time you contribute to SGA and Senate does not go unappreciated." And whereas Senator Darrell Deek says, quote, "Dr. Bowden, I want to express my most gracious respect and gratitude for you and your presence within the Student Senate legislative body. You have, as a Black man, been such an inspiration for me as a man of color that I will never forget the positive impact you have had on my life and FSU experience. Throughout everything, I always knew I could come to you and express my thoughts, which provided me with so much stability during my tenure as the Student Senate President. You helped me realize that every individual has no limitations beyond self-limitation, a lesson I will never lose sight of. Thank you for being a true role model and inspiring many, many others and myself to be our genuine selves. Forever and always, love you, Dr. B." Whereas Senator England says, quote, "There are 9 areas within the Division of Student Affairs that directly reports to you. This does not stop you from going out of your way to ensure all areas of student government were covered after Dr. Danielle Acosta's departure. I find it hard enough dealing with my 2 hats, student and senator, yet you somehow juggle 9. You're an inspiration to us all, and your hard work will not soon be forgotten by the students of today and of tomorrow."
Hang on, President Harmon. Anna just texted me and said, do we want to reread this when Dr. Bowden has a chance to get on? Oh, he's here.
All right, I had a breath, so yeah, we can redo that.
I'm so sorry.
All right. Welcome, Dr. Bowden. All right. I think Dr. Bowden can hear us. So this is Resolution 30. The primary sponsor is Senator Gonzalez and Stinson. Co-sponsors are Bateman, Bergen, Darrell Deek, England, Flashman, Gabadaj, Gonzalez, Grunberger, J. Hitchcock, Hunter, Lassard, Linsky, Little, Marcus, Millian, Mouget, Murcia, Murray, Nemeth, Prescia, Sam, Soto, Stoltz, Villacorta, and Wang. Whereas Dr. Brandon Bowden serves as the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs at Florida State University, where he directly supervises areas such as the Center for Leadership and Social Change, the Center for Global Engagement, the Student Union, the Student Engagement Department, and co-supervises the Center for Academic Retention and Enhancement, also known as CARE, along with the Dean of Undergraduate Studies. And whereas Dr. Bowden stepped in as interim director of the Student Governance and Advocacy and interim director of Student Engagement at the end of July 2020, following the departure of Dr. Daniela Costa, and whereas with this role, he became the interim advisor of the Student Senate, tasked with supporting student senators personally and professionally while assuring administrative tasks were being performed in an efficient and statutory form. And whereas student senators would like to personally thank Dr. Bowden for his contribution and influence to the Student Senate and our individual growth in the following way. And whereas Senator Bateman says, quote, "Thank you for providing the candor, advice, and guidance of an excellent advisor. I've greatly enjoyed working for you over these past few months." And whereas Senator Bergen says, quote, "Thank you for everything you do, Dr. Bowden. The effort and time you contribute to SGA and Senate does not go unappreciated." And whereas Senator Darrell Deek says, quote, "Dr. Bowden, I want to express my most gracious respect and gratitude for you and your presence within the Student Senate legislative body. You have, as a Black man, been such an inspiration for me as a man of color that I will never forget the positive impact you have had on my life and FSU experience. Throughout everything, I always knew I could come to you and express my thoughts, which provided me with so much stability during my tenure as the Student Senate President. You helped me realize that every individual has no limitations beyond self-limitation, a lesson I will never lose sight of. Thank you for being a true role model, inspiring many others and myself to be our genuine selves. Forever and always, love you, Dr. B." And whereas Senator England says, quote, there are 9 areas within the Division of Student Affairs that directly reports to you. This did not stop you from going out of your way to ensure all areas of student government were covered after Dr. Daniela Acosta's departure. I find it hard enough dealing with my 2 hats, student and senator, yet you somehow juggle 9. You're an inspiration to us all, and your hard work will not soon be forgotten by the students of today and of tomorrow. And whereas Senator Flashman says, thank you for the work you've done in the short time I've been a member of the 73rd Student Senate. I'm thankful for the effort you put into SGA, going above and beyond to help run our student government. And whereas Senator Gabadaj says, quote, Dr. Bowden has consistently been a light within student government, even at the most stressful times. He has displayed throughout his time here how much he genuinely cares for the well-being of senators and our personal growth. I cannot thank him enough for his dedication. And whereas Senator Gonzalez says, quote, this is R. Gonzalez, this administrator has been there for me when I was lost and I didn't know what to do. And for that, I am thankful. And whereas Senator Grunberger says, thank you so much, Dr. Bowden, for all you have done for SGA and the FSU community. You always respond when I reach out and you try to help no matter what, with no hesitation. I appreciate all the work you have done for the FSU community, as well as the work we have done on the Jewish Student Life Task Force and the work that we will continue to do. Thankful for all that you do, Dr. B. Whereas Senator Jay Hitchcock says, quote, thank you, Dr. Bowden, for being our anchor when life was most volatile. Thank you for being there for new senators in our time of need. And thank you so much for showing us professionalism, courage, and respectfulness. Whereas Senator Hunter says, quote, I am eternally thankful for your guidance during my short time in Senate. Your care for students has always been evident and at the forefront of all the work you do. I'm grateful for your commitment to bettering not only students' lives within the Senate chamber, but also beyond. Thank you for the time you dedicated to us. It will never be forgotten. And whereas Senator Lassard says, while I have only been in Senate for a short time, I will forever be grateful for everything I have learned from you. Thank you, Dr. Bowden, for carrying us through the good and the bad. And thank you for your encouraging words after long Senate meetings or even emotionally difficult ones. We appreciate everything you do. And whereas Senator Linsky says, quote, I'm very grateful for the opportunities to have learned from you, rely on your experience, and better understand how students and administrators can collaborate to best represent our university. Thanks for setting a tone and tempo that will continue to guide us through the good, the bad, and the uncertain. And whereas Senator Little says, quote, Dr. Bowden, your hard work has been so essential to the success of this body. Thank you for stepping up and being a prominent leader during one of the most difficult and insane times for the Senate and for FSU as a whole. I'm immensely grateful for your guidance while I was learning the ropes of Senate leadership. You encouraged and supported me through some of my hardest times in Senate, showing me that I am capable of more than I think when I am confident and fair. Many of my personal successes in Senate wouldn't have been possible without you, so thank you. We'll miss you, but can't wait to see the next big thing you do. And whereas Senator Marcus says, quote, thank you for going out of your way and giving us ample amounts of your time to help us serve the student body. We have spent many a Wednesday evening staring at Zoom boxes, and your efforts to help us help students by overseeing these long meetings are so appreciated. And whereas Senator Melian says, quote, thank you for your continued service. Oh, I'm sorry, my dog was doing something loud. Thank you for your continued servitude, and attentiveness. Your aid has well served us, and I give eternal thanks. I appreciate your time and effort, and it inspires me to put my best foot forward. And whereas Senator Mouget says, quote, Dr. Bowden, I truly cannot thank you enough for your dedication to the student government of Florida State University. Your time, energy, and love for the students of our institution is inspirational. Throughout my time at FSU, I am honored to have the opportunity to work with you. You're an inspiration to so many students and a strong leader that we needed so desperately. I will be forever grateful for the past couple of years. And whereas Senator Murcia says, quote, Dr. Bowden, thank you for all the work you did with the 72nd Student Senate. I know that working with us can sometimes be difficult, and I know it is very time consuming. So I really appreciate the work you did. I also want to thank you for helping me through sweepings. It was a hard week, but we got through it. And a large part of that was your help and guidance. Thank you for setting an example for how the Senate should be run. And thank you for allowing the late night meetings. I'm grateful for getting the chance to work with you, and quote, and whereas Senator Murray says, quote, Dr. Bowden, thank you for playing such a vital role in our 73rd Student Senate. Your work does not go unnoticed, and it inspires me to not only become a better senator, but a better human. Thank you for guiding us in our time of need, even if it is at 12 o'clock at night. Your passion for students and willingness to lend a hand to anyone is incredible. Incredibly appreciated and admirable. And whereas Senator Nemeth says, quote, Dr. Bowden, thank you for contributing so much of your time to the student body and for setting such an amazing example of how administrators and students can work together towards a common goal. Your hard work does not go unnoticed. The 73rd Student Senate has been so lucky to have you. And whereas Senator Precious says, Dr. B, I appreciate the time and dedication you put into Senate. I recognized your impact even before I was elected. I saw the many hours you put in over summer 2020, making sure that students' voices were represented and making sure the legislative body was able to effectively exercise its power. Even though I came in toward the end of your student government advisory period, I know that you will continue to make an impact on the Florida State University community in so many ways. Whereas Senator Sam says, quote, thank you for being a light in the dark path of what summer Senate was. I will forever appreciate the support you gave me during my term, and I hope you know I found it invaluable in my journey in student leadership. And whereas Senator Soto says, quote, thank you for making yourself available enough to help run Senate meetings smoothly. Also, a huge thank you for helping myself and the Senate Finance Committee with the start of revisions to the Finance Code. Your guidance and willingness to help us, not only senators, but also as students, will never be forgotten, even if it means replying to our emails at 11 o'clock at night. And whereas Senator Stoltz says, thank you for making the Senate run smoothly and assisting all the senators in our efforts. You made SGA a better place, and you helped me gain the experience and knowledge necessary to function as a student senator. We will all miss you. And whereas Senator Villacorta says, quote, Dr. Bowden was the first administrator I have had the pleasure of working with who showed genuine concern for the issues in student government, from corruption and ethics concerns to student health and well-being, and never made senators feel like any idea was unattainable, but instead encouraged cooperation and always kept his door open for me. Dr. Bowden shuns the elitism and gatekeeping that is too often present in the university administration, and for that, he will always be remembered as an administrator that truly worked for the benefit of the students. And whereas Senator Wang says, quote, words are powerless to express my gratitude to you, Dr. Bowden. Thank you for making my transition to pro tempore as smooth as possible in a virtual setting amidst a pandemic. I appreciate your guidance and willingness to help at all times. You stepped up in the most tumultuous time SGA has ever seen. From 1 a.m. meetings to constantly checking through statutes to answer our questions, your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Thank you for caring about us beyond what your job required. And whereas Senator A. Gonzalez says, quote, Dr. Bowden, your name carries weight and your words carry value, but not value simply in purpose, but value in empathy, morality, and truth. Beyond the unbiased, just nature in which you conducted yourself as an administrator, you managed to instill the power of kindness and fairness in every single one of us. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking this on, for opening your arms and heart to us, and for supporting me as an individual. You came into my life and provided that balance, that listening heart and open soul that makes someone feel truly valued, despite all else going on. You deserve the world, and I truly hope Florida State recognizes the worth you bring to the table. And whereas Senator Stinson says, quote, Dr. Bowden, you have truly been a role model in the realm of professionalism for me. You have shown me that compassion can carry weight across all aisles. You have been selfless in your actions and in your allegiance to making Florida State the amazing place it is today. Seeing how hard you work from 8 a.m. to midnight inspires me and many others to give our work the same commitment and dedication you do. You make me want to be a better person, and I cannot show my appreciation enough. Thank you for being you. And whereas Dr. Bowden shall be recognized for his outstanding efforts during this past year, where he was thrust into a difficult position at a volatile time, and nonetheless worked tirelessly to guide student senators to the principles of amity, compromise, and respectful disagreement. Therefore, be it resolved by the 73rd Student Senate at Florida State University that the Student Governance and Advocacy expresses its deepest gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Brandon Bowden for his endless devotion to the individual and organizational success of SG&A. We recognize his worth and acknowledge the influence he has had on our growth as individuals and leaders. And be it further resolved that as a token of our appreciation, Dr. Brandon Bowden is to be nominated for the FSU Student Senate Award for Excellence for his distinguished service to the Florida State University and his outstanding performance in representing the institution. Be it lastly resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to Dr. Brandon Bowden, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Angela Chong, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Amy Hecht, Vice President for Student Affairs, and John Thrasher, President of Florida State University. Whew. Well, all right. We can now have the sponsors present this legislation. You will have 5 minutes for your opening. Whatever you don't use for your opening is reserved for your closing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Harmon, for reading this. Cole and I literally had a joke that when you were going to read this on the floor, it was going to be hell. So thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Cole. Wrangling everybody up to get those in was a lot as well. But we really, truly felt that Dr. Bowden deserved this. And it's just literally, I'll be the little sap, and then Cole Stinson can be the, strong one. But I was really crying when Harmon was reading that, because Dr. Shark leaving, Dr. B, was pretty tough for me, and you stepped in, and you have been amazing, and you've been amazing since the moment I met you. So thank you so much. And with that, I yield to Cole.
Yeah, I'll just let this resolution kind of speak for itself, but we truly think you're the absolute man, Dr. Bowden, and I'll just yield with that.
All right, sponsors yield 4 minutes and 5 seconds to their closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions for the sponsors? Seeing none, there are 3 minutes in the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Chair Randall.
Just a quick point of parliamentary inquiry for the president. Does this need a unanimous, or can it be a unanimous consent, or does it need a vote?
I don't believe it requires a vote. It just needed to go to SLAW.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But if the parliamentarian has any issue with that, then he'll probably bring it up eventually. All right, 3 minutes in the first round of pro. Any senators wishing to speak at this time? Come on, I gave you all 3 minutes. Senator Marquez.
I think our words were just said. That's all I have to say. All of our words were just said.
All right, 2 minutes and 53 seconds in the first round of pro. I'm just going to move on. We don't have to extinguish the time. All right, we'll move into the first round of con. There are 3 minutes in the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, is there a motion? All right, Chair Randall.
Move to pass by unanimous consent, Mr. President.
Second, Senator Prescia.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, Resolution 30 is passed by unanimous consent. And according to statutes, I get to decide how this award is given, in which you will receive an award during inauguration, Dr. Bowden. All right. Well, congratulations, Dr. Bowden. You have been nominated for the Senate Award for Excellence. All right. Moving on. Resolution 31, sponsored by Senator Lassard as the primary sponsor and Marcus and Soto as the co-sponsors, adding an administrative leave of absence to Rule 13 as an option for suspended senators, referred to Rules and Calendar, tabled in Rules and Calendar, where it remains tabled. Resolution 32, sponsored by Senator Randall as the primary sponsor, amending Rule 13 and 14 to clarify expectations regarding financial certifications and suspension. Resolution 32 will go to rules. Resolution 33, sponsored by Senator Soto as the primary sponsor, condemning legislation harmful to transgender and non-binary students of all ages, calls OGA to stand in opposition during session and suggests inclusivity training for state legislatures. This will go to SLAW, then rules. All right, unfinished business, we have none. Statements of dissent. Are there any senators wishing to lodge a statement of dissent? All right, none. New business, we have none at the moment. Closing announcements. Are there any senators wishing to make a closing announcement? Chair Randall.
Mr. President, I have an update on in-person events and RTAC funding. Effective immediately, this is the way the process will work until university policy changes. When an RTAC request is submitted, I'm going to send that request via Dr. Williams to Dr. Hecht. And once Dr. Hecht approves it, then it will go to RTAC. I know there was some inconsistencies on that last week, but that's the official process. Y'all will be happy to know that our first in-person request of 2021 FSU belly dancers for $315 was approved, and they will be going later in April. With that, I also want to say we are looking for requests. We can fund in-person events for April, May, June, and for those 3 months, I'm looking for any sort of requests that you have from RSOs. We've got a lot of money to give out. If you have anybody that's looking to attend any sort of conference, our tech would love to help. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chair Randall. Senator Marcus.
I just wanted to take a moment, and there's a resolution that was introduced tonight about this, but I wanted to take a moment to say that if you have not educated yourself on the slew of anti-trans legislation that is being passed around states around this country, you need to take a minute and educate yourself on this, because this hurts people within our chambers. There are individuals on the internet attacking people within our chambers tonight, misgendering them and making them feel like, pardon my French, but absolute shit. And if you are not educated on this issue, please educate yourself and please speak out on this. If we can, as an SGA, can lobby against other things, we should be able to lobby against this legislation as well, as it is very real, affects not only students within high school sports within Florida and states around the country, but also collegiate athletes. And it also just invades people's privacy by checking their pants. Literally what the legislation says. So if you are not educated on these issues, please make sure, please go and do your research as this approaches our floor next week.
Thank you, Senator Marcus. Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you. I just want to take this time to thank all of our servicemen and women, veterans, first responders. It's very important they're recognized for the work they do day in and day out. And then once again, President Harmon, thank you for reading the 5 pages. That was a lot. With that, I yield.
Thank you. I have my water here, so I'm good. All right, Senator Rigodel.
Yes, hi everyone. So I'm currently working on an entrepreneurial ecosystem map of all the resources that we have on campus for just entrepreneurship. So I'm going to be sending that out once I finish to the whole Senate, just in case you want to start your venture, want to get some grant money for this idea you came up with. I'm going to give you all the information for that, and I can always be a liaison for anyone who wants to get involved in the entrepreneurial and innovation system here at FSU. What was I thinking about? Oh, French Club, Friday. We're doing an egg hunt on campus. It's going to be awesome. Masks, yes, social distancing, and bring your own water bottle. And if you want to sign up for that and learn some French, just DM me. DM me, group me. Does that make sense? Yes. And we can get that working. All right. Thanks for a quick Senate tonight. See y'all.
Thank you, Senator Rigodel. Chair Soto.
Hey y'all. So the senator that Senator Marcus was referring to is myself. Tonight I was targeted just because I shared a petition on Facebook about this legislation that's being passed on within Florida chambers. And the resolution 33 that will be heard in SLAW and in rules definitely explains more of the bills and why it's harmful and stuff. So I really would appreciate it if you took the time to educate yourself, check in on your friends and your peers, because we're not doing okay. I'm not doing okay. So I just wanted to let you know that this happens. People are just rude. People are mean. So yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you, Senator Soto. Are there any other senators wishing to make a statement? Senator Tackett.
Hey everyone. So I wanted to again thank you guys for passing the Food for Thought Pantry funding bill. I am currently going to be trying to work on expanding EBT and SNAP benefits towards the university. If anybody who is food insecure has these benefits themselves, I know it is difficult to speak about that. But I have firsthand experience with this, and so I would love to collaborate with any other senator. If any senator knows anybody on EBT SNAP or is food insecure, have them reach out to me. I'm going to work with the administration and get this done. This will not be an easy task. I don't know the obstacles that lay ahead, but it's something that needs to get done. So please reach out. Let's get working on that. And also please educate yourself on the anti-trans House bills and Senate bills that are up right now. We should be advocating for those. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tackett. Are there any other senators wishing to make a closing announcement at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll start with the officers of the Senate now that we have a full slate of officers. Wonderful. We'll start with Parliamentarian Rowan.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I would like to start by, of course, just giving all love to Dr. Bowden. Thank you very much for everything he did. Secondly, congratulations to Clerk Connor for joining on and joining the Jacksonville Caucus of Senate. The more Jacksonville people in here, the better. And then a final thing I would like to say is I believe Chair Linsky has we've finally gotten the date and time for the rules ad hoc together. It is, I'm now running back to the group chat to find it. I think it's on Friday or next Friday. Yeah, Friday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. Even if you are not on the committee, please come out to it. We'd love to have you. This is your rules of procedure. This is going to be what's governing the way these meetings are run, and your input is most important. If you have any issues that you want to have changed, added, removed from the rules, please let any of the members of the committee know, or just again, come out to the meeting. We'd love to have you there. So thank you very much, Senate, and have a fantastic evening.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Rowan. Press Secretary Mendez.
Yes, hello, Senate. I've been receiving some requests for posts. I love that. Keep that energy going. If you have anything at all that you want to get posted, please contact me. My email is now on the legislative branch part of the SGA website under the Office of the Senate President. So contact me that way. Contact me through social media. If you want to contact me directly through the FSU Senate social media, that's amazing. Do that. Yeah, I just want to share your things in Senate that you're particularly fond of or proud of and are pertinent, you feel, to the students. So contact me, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Press Secretary Mendez. Clerk Connor. If you don't have any closing announcements, you don't have to raise your hand, but I still call on you anyway. All right, Clerk Connor.
Hi, sorry, I thought my hand was raised and then I wasn't able to unmute myself. I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for your support this evening. I look forward to getting to work, and thank you for all of the congratulations. I look forward to getting to work with all of you.
Thank you, Clerk Connor. Pro Tempore Wang. I forgot you can unmute yourself. My bad.
Hello, Senate. Thank you, President Harmon. I just want to thank you all for a really great meeting tonight. We passed a lot of really meaningful stuff. We funded the Food for Thought Pantry, which, by the way, I will be making my second donation with my salary this Friday. We renamed Golden Tribe. We renamed a lot of stuff. So good job, you guys. Good job for doing your due diligence and making sure that stuff is getting done. It's been really heavy, like a really heavy time, I guess, in the political world outside of Senate and just in life in general. Check up on your people. I'm sorry, Senator Soto. I'm really sorry that you were targeted, and I hate hearing that from you guys. Just educate yourself on other community issues, like other senators have stated before. Just having these meetings has been such a light recently, which is very rare to say that Senate can be like therapeutic at some point. But amidst all the mass shootings that we've had, it's just been a very hard time, and I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. I yield.
Thank you, Pro Tempore Wang. I think as a Senate, we have definitely improved. I think we're working together much better. And I really appreciate the kindness that you each you show to each other. I appreciate Senator Linsky and Senator Stinson finding an issue and then fixing the issue rather than just continuing to fight over the issue. Thank you, Senator Tackett, for funding the food pantry. I look forward to seeing more of that and more funding. I love when we use our money because it's just going to be swept in the end. So might as well use it now. In regards to the officers, now that we have a full plate of officers, we can now get to work a little better. We'll start meeting weekly, and that's when we'll discuss whatever we need to. We're going to try and get the canvas started. It's already been made, actually. We just need to fix the kinks and whatever, and then practice with it and then bring it to the Senate. So that might take a bit, but hopefully that will help with the legislation issues and be easier on the chairs and whatnot. But this was a really good meeting. I had fun. 10 o'clock. Good job. All right. And if you ever need any help or someone to talk to, I'm always here. Pro Tempore Wang's always here. Dr. Bowden is still available. He still works at FSU. He's not gone. So I'm sure he'll be able to talk to us as well. And we have Dr. Williams and Anna as well. So if they'd like to say anything, now's their time. Oh yeah, I forgot. We got to move into advisor announcements. All right. Do the advisors have any announcements today?
Anna? Y'all have said it pretty well so far. Yeah, just because it's not said enough. All of you bring so much value to this space, and it's really, really cool being in my position, just getting to watch y'all talk about things that matter and care for one another in the ways that you do. So I know that these have been a couple of weeks, and I know that we have a couple of weeks coming up. So be taking care of yourself, feel the sun on your face, drink some water. And we're here for you if you need anything. Yeah.
Ditto what Anna said. You all are students first. I know you're at the end of the semester, so take care of yourselves. Make sure that you're, working hard and keeping your work up, because we want to make sure that you, maintain your amazing GPAs. I wanted to let you all know that I'm learning so much from you all. I'm still inspired every time I'm on our meetings. And I wanted to let you all know what Dr. Bowden said, because he didn't get a chance to talk, but I texted him while you all were reading, and he said, "My heart is so full." So you all, a way to give flowers while someone can actually be here to hear it and receive them. I've never seen anything like this. I was behind my box almost crying. So I think that's amazing. When people work really hard and they're here for you, just always make sure that you're giving them their due respect when they can hear it. So thanks for doing that. I'm appreciative of actually being here to even witness that. You all are doing great work. Thank you.
I already put a copy on his desk.
Thank you, Dr. Williams, and thank you, Anna. All right, we are now in line for a final roll call. Pro Tempore Wang.
I always forget we do this. All right, hang on. Senators Murcia, Flashman, and Tackett. Senators Roy, Villacorta, and Marcus. Senators Bateman, Hunter, and Little. Senators Bergen, Rudolph, and Grumberger. Senators Rossi, Shaler, and Prescia. Senators Randall, Stoltz, and Arrett. Senators England, Nasworthy, and Molina. Senators Lassard, Duperrier, and Rodriguez. Senator Linsky, Rigadell, and Fineout. Senator Soto, Lewis, and Ramos. Senators A. Gonzalez, Martin, and Gabadage. Senators Reed, Moore, and Suarez. Senators Nemeth, Russell, and Jay Hitchcock. Senators Melion, Murray, and West. Senators Thorpe, Kay Hitchcock, and Kubas. Senators Darrell-Deek, Tooks, and Boole. Senators Kalink, Stinson, and Gonzalez. All right, President Harmon.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn from a new senator? Senator Lewis. All right, we'll go to Senator
I
Murray.
move to adjourn.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you. Have a great night.
So sweet. I know, that was so good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this meeting. I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
I look forward to next week.
Yeah.